All right.
Say it again. Say it again so we could do the fun intro. Welcome to Bottle Episodes.
Welcome to Bottle Episodes. Is that what we're doing?
You're not going to repeat what you said before we were recording. So
are you asking me?
I don't even remember who started the interaction.
Yeah, me neither. I thought it was Pamela.
So if we can't remember who started it, we're just starting the show.
I hate we're all three of us are pointing fingers at the other one.
It's
like the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
Oh, we all said it at the same time.
Welcome to Bottle Episodes. I'm David Piccolomini.
I'm Daniel Crow, aka Spider-Man.
And this week we're back with three-peat guest.
Yeah.
Joining the Three-Timer Club.
Pamela Ross.
Yeah,
Hi.
I'm sorry. I know your name. We have the guest say.
You're good. I wasn't sure if I should say it or you.
I usually clarify it, but we figured with your long experience.
Right. Well, I mean, I am in some ways a staple of the show.
Yeah.
An anchor, but I just love obscure and also bad media. So
Same. That's my whole.
I'm ready to serve.
And so this week we have the show Are You There, Chelsea? And for the show, we cover the pilot and then the top-rated episode on IMDb to see if it got any better, which was Surprise, which was, I believe, the last episode or the penultimate episode.
No, it was the last.
The finale. Yeah.
So it's one of those shows where they people are just like, you know what? We're happy the whole thing happened.
Glad it's over.
It's behind us now.
Don't smile because it happened. Smile because you don't have to watch anymore.
You know what? It ended on a high.
I just gotta say, what an absolute monument to averageness this show is.
Yeah.
Even on IMDb, it is sitting perfectly at 5 out of 10. You can click the rankings and you can go country by country. You can go demographic by demographic, and by like 0.3 on either side. Pretty much everyone is like, this is 5 out of 10.
Yeah. It's like the Olive Garden of sitcoms.
Oh, don't. Come on. This is way more Applebee's.
Yeah.
Perfectly mediocre.
This is Applebee's. There's way more drunks.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
See, I've only been to Applebee's once, but I did go to the...
You've only been to Applebee's once?
I've only been to Applebee's once.
All right. You could just tell us you went to private school. It's fine.
Yeah.
I went to private school my whole life.
All right. There you go.
You should do more of the road.
You
Sometimes
immediately...
it's the only option.
You immediately decoded that.
Yeah.
Immediately pegged me. But I did go to the Times Square Olive Garden once.
Okay.
On purpose.
Yes, we've all made the
I have
journey.
been to the Times Square Olive Garden once with a friend who said he had a gift card, which it turned out only covered the wine he ordered, and then he didn't have any other money and made everyone else pay for it. And the whole time he was like, just keep getting stuff.
Oh my God.
No.
And so it was like a big bill, and then everyone had to pay kitchen to pay for his.
Oh.
God.
He was drunk when we arrived, in fairness.
And
Well, of course.
Yeah.
have you seen him since?
Yeah. Also, that's the only time I've ever been to an Olive Garden.
You're like, yeah, that's my bro. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. See, I would make the pilgrimage to Olive Garden on occasion growing up. It's just, it's very comforting as an Italian American.
See, yeah, same. That's about as Italian. It's Olive
As an
Garden
Applebee
Italian.
American. That's why I go to Applebee's.
Right. So yeah, the show is mediocre.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody.
So, Are You There, Chelsea? It's vaguely based on Chelsea Handler's life and the novel Are You There, Vodka, It's Me, Chelsea.
Yeah, so it's vaguely based on her life, her experiences in her early 20s as documented in the book Are You There, Vodka, It's Me, Chelsea, which is like a book of essays. It's
I often think of her in the same vein as David Sedaris.
right, she's a noted humorist.
Yeah.
And honest, I've read the book and it's fun, it's funny. I was laughing out loud reading it. It's breezy. It is so perfectly Chelsea. Like, it's her brand, you know?
It's a fun, light, I'm going to kind of say too much, but not really.
Yeah.
But also, yeah.
And as she explains in the book, and I think it sort of it gives you the context that you need, which is that she discovered she should try to do comedy professionally when she got a DUI and was in like a sort of court-ordered like alcohol class, and she was talking about how she got the DUI, and everyone was laughing.
She was crushing.
She was absolutely crushing the meeting.
I just want to say, I love how you refer to AA as alcohol class. Hey, everybody, come on down to alcohol class.
And-
I bet you think we're going to teach you how to drink alcohol. No.
And listen, I've been to an AA meeting, and it's much more serious than just a class.
Yeah.
Like it's intense. No one looked at their phones. I could not believe how seriously everyone took it. Which kind of explains why I was there.
You're like, why is everybody here could use a drink, and that is the problem.
Right. I was like,
These
her needs
kids
to relax.
today, they don't take AA seriously. They're on their phone the whole time.
But I gotta be honest, if Chelsea Handler's crushing at alcohol meeting, that's it is a good sign. And then she did become a comedian.
It was absolutely it anticipated her success as a comic whose brand is mostly vodka based and sex based, as you see in the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which is weird because the show feels entirely brandless.
Well, that's because
everything interesting is stripped away.
And that's because the edgier, like the edgier aspects of her comedy, they can't put in a network sitcom, right?
That's kind of, I think the issue with the thing is it's promising to be a much edgier act, and it can't actually let itself get that far, and it has to do like weird things like call pussies Pikachus.
It's very much like the behavior
Right.
of someone getting drunk at the Times Square Olive Garden.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're going nuts, but in a very safe environment.
Applebee's actually has dollar cocktails till 8 p.m.
You know what is so strange, though? Up until about 3 minutes before we recorded, I was positive this was a CBS show. It is the most CBS feeling sitcom I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Turns out, NBC.
CBS coded all the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, it's hornier, but in a weirder way. I feel like that's like a lot of CBS, like Two Broke Girls is like weirdly horny, but like
Two and a
Being
Half
in
Men.
those writers' rooms, I'm sure they're just pinging euphemisms for different sexual acts and body parts back and forth. That's
the whole time. Yeah.
that's all it is trying to come up with like sort of PG or PG-13 ways to refer to like oral sex or your vagina.
How do we get an audience that wants to laugh at sex jokes where we can't say the sex part?
Right.
Which begs the question, why is she doing this on NBC?
Because it was 2012.
You mean the year Netflix started doing originals?
Yeah, exactly.
Or you mean she still had a show on cable where they would have given her more freedom?
Yeah, but E wasn't doing scripted.
Yeah, I feel like the landscape has changed so much for scripted, like where cable,
time.
network was so much bigger at the time.
This is still a perfect thing for Netflix to try to do when they're starting up because they had so much stand-up at that time. They still
Yeah.
do. But like if you got a chance to do an edgy sitcom with no rules with a comic that's already done well on your platform, I don't know if it was ever offered, but it feels weird to try to do one with that edge to it on network when streaming is becoming an option at the time.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's also probably just they gave her a lot more money.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure the paycheck just to like develop the show was fantastic.
Yeah. So might as well make that your thing. Like, might as well make it, see if you can do that. And then if you hit big on network sitcom money, you just get to run forever and make money in perpetuity.
And maybe she wanted to just have a relationship with NBC. Like sometimes you just start working with them in the hopes that like something, like you can just establish a good relationship.
All right, we'll tweet at Chelsea and we'll find out. Yeah.
I need to know. I have so many business related questions for her because she is kind of like a business genius.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Her and Whitney Cummings are both like in that weird place where they like
Absolutely.
just work. And
they're fucking workhorses too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It shows.
It shows. I mean,
It shows because she's clearly exhausted when she has to act in this show.
so I will say, how do we feel about the casting? Because she obviously doesn't play herself. She plays her sister Sloane.
Yeah.
It's weird. I think don't be in the show at all or be the lead.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
distracting otherwise.
It's
And I like that they had to make her brunette because she's a blonde, famously.
right. So it is that whole distraction of it. It's so she's because she needs to be a brunette. It's like, oh, she's kind of in the show, she's kind of not in the show. And I don't think she was making enough direct commentary for her to be like, oh, the author insert.
You know, if she wanted to do direct commentary, they could have framed it like Seinfeld, where she did a bit and then flashed back to the story of that life that inspired her bit. She gets to be in it still.
But then, yeah, she's not in it in the same way. Yeah, no, I think that would be probably better. But, also, you might want to just act in your own thing, but not have to be the
She
star.
doesn't seem like she wants to act in it.
Fair enough.
Do we like Laura Prepon as the lead?
She adds and subtracts nothing.
I think, I like most of the casting is talented,
The
funny
cast
people.
is good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like Laura Prepon, Lauren Lapkus, I always... this is early Lauren Lapkus.
And Laura Prepon has obviously such like sitcom bona fides.
Yeah.
She will hit a mark. She knows how to deliver a line.
Exactly. Jake McDornan, I also really like as Rick. And then it was fun to see Lenny Clark as like old school Boston.
Lenny Clark, I used to hook up with his nephew in Boston.
Lenny Clark is an old school Boston
Lenny
stand-up
Clark
comedian.
is like such a New England comedy legend, and he kind of, and he's amazing. He had his own sitcoms like in the 90s. He's great. He has, as of late, taken a sort of kind of like Nick DiPaolo, like hard right turn.
Oh, of course he
into
did.
some of
Oh
the
my God.
conspiratorial political thinking.
I'm not trying to say what the putting in vaccines, but like
I was fascinated because obviously he's bringing that Boston, New England thing.
Yeah.
Chelsea's actual father is like a Jewish guy from New Jersey, and her mom was Mormon.
oh, weird. Much more interesting.
That's the more interesting sitcom.
Thank you.
Like
Yeah.
her childhood in that?
Yes, and they come from sort of a big family. She's like one of like 5 or 6, and they were really broke growing up, and that was like a lot of what she talked about growing up.
It's
like,
a shame she probably originally titled this Two Broke Girls and then was like, been taken.
But also, it would ground the show more in New York if you have this like New Jersey Jewish guy
Yeah.
as your dad, as opposed to like the hardcore Boston man, which is another tonal difference.
The Jewish dad,
Yeah.
Mormon mom is such a better pitch because one of the big problems with this show is that it has no identity. It's just another sitcom about young people in the city trying to get by.
right.
There's so many of those.
But how many of them have Ali Wong?
Several.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good for her. She does work a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, but if it was a story about growing up in a Jewish Mormon family, there's jokes you can't even conceive of
Right.
that can be made about that.
Yeah.
They haven't made those on TV before.
How many circumcisions are they going to have to do?
They do half and half on every child.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Is that why they have to wear and that's why they have to wear the special underwear?
Yeah.
Okay. This all makes sense now.
Man, if you're Jewish and Mormon, you have so many clothes you need to be wearing all the time that no one else needs to. You got a hat and you've got the underwear.
There's so
It's
many layers.
The laundry alone.
Imagine
you have to
being
do.
like an Orthodox Jewish Mormon. You're just
Oh my
wearing
God.
4 layers of clothes, and your head is covered at all times. You've either got a wig or a yarmulke on, or both.
Wig,
my-
yarmulke, wig.
Yeah.
Veil.
Just keeping from. But yeah, I do think her actual, and then the choice to have like, so Sloane is pregnant, she has this kid, it's Chelsea's niece, and then her husband is like in the military abroad, right?
Yes.
He's like serving in Afghanistan. That's an invented aspect of the backstory that I just didn't really get.
They needed a reason for him to not be at the birth without being tragic.
They needed a reason, exactly. They needed a reason that Chelsea was like being more of a hands-on aunt, basically.
Yes.
They needed him to be absent.
I mean, you use the term hands-on aunt. That's when we're really glad that she didn't grow up Catholic. Because,
That could have gone left.
yeah.
Yeah, she is very involved with I guess that's supposed to be like the heart of the show, is that she's like a very involved sister.
Yeah, like her family, like she's very dedicated to them.
But it is weird to have a show about your life as a person, and the show's main redeeming quality is how devoted you are to you as a person,
Mhm.
not as a character.
Yeah, it's weird.
That's like the show. She's like, look at how good she is at caring for her sister. That
And she
it
does the
is
bare
actual.
minimum. She does the bare minimum.
She gets to the hospital.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah, you're right. That's the bare minimum, but that's how you start a character arc is you start at the bare minimum and then they slowly
You
get better.
build. Yeah.
Yeah. Like spoiler alert, by the end of the last episode, she got the dad back home.
No, the dad was already coming home.
Yeah, she got him back.
She expedited. Yeah.
No, she just sent her sister to get waxed.
Which as valuable.
We watched 2 episodes of the show, and each of them had pube subplots.
I accidentally watched 3 episodes.
Accidentally, quote unquote.
Imagine, because it's on YouTube. It's in like a playlist, and I may or may not have been a little stoned when I watched this.
Mm-hmm. I'd hope so.
And I accidentally watched the second episode thinking it was the finale.
You saw a 1 and a 2, and you were like, obviously the next one, the final one, that's 12.
It ended, and I was like, that was a real queef of a finale. That really gave me nothing.
I mean, how much did the regular finale give you?
Barely anything.
Perfect.
It was a wet fart.
It feels like the episode before the finale.
Yeah, it feels penultimate for sure.
Well, I don't believe did they air all of their episodes?
It looked like it. Looks like they just made 12, which is weird. These are usually 13.
Yeah, I think they just aired the 12 and didn't renew.
Classic.
I was talking about this a little bit with David before the podcast, but this is apparently set in New York. It feels so middle American.
It feels like Chicago or Cleveland or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I said Columbus.
But even
yeah.
But then having Lenny Clark even makes it like just like outside of Boston.
Right.
Just any kind of like suburb style. But yeah, because nobody is doing like weird ambitious city things.
No, they're just drinking.
And also that's not it doesn't feel at all grounded in the setting.
Like Friends is a sitcom that does like, I'm not a huge Friends person, but it does feel very New York.
Yeah.
Because everybody is actively struggling and trying to make it and like really ambitious. And I don't get that vibe from anyone this feels more like Cougar Town.
It's also like we immediately meet 2 Christian characters in New York. No. No, you do not. I don't think I've met one in my entire time in New York.
Oh, on the way here, we passed by a Mormon church. And
Empty.
It was empty at the time, but it gave me pause. I was like, oh, they're here too? Like, of course they are. But I've never, listen,
You forget.
I've never met a Mormon here. I'm just saying.
I mean, I live near like a Catholic church. It's one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, I guess people use that sometimes.
Yeah, people do that here. I don't know.
Well, especially in Queens.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm doxing myself.
I want to think about this.
Because of the ethnics.
Here's the thing about Christianity in New York City.
I'm talking about Polish people. Continue.
Yeah.
when the Pope came to New York, he filled Yankee Stadium for 1 day. Springsteen fills Giant Stadium for like 3 days. So
the odds are
like there's clearly a disparity.
In New York, Springsteen, undeniably a bigger cultural icon than the Pope. He's more important.
I picked him out of May. There are plenty of people that will play the football stadium and the Pope is only doing the baseball stadium.
Yeah.
There are plenty of people that can pull twice as many as the Pope in New York.
I love the idea that it's like
I'm just
Pope
saying
can only do baseball.
He's not a draw.
Pope's doing baseball because it's America's sport.
I'm saying Kevin Hart can do football stadiums. The Pope can't.
Absolutely. Well, the Pope wasn't in Ride Along, so
God, imagine if he was. That'd be great.
such good stunt casting.
Yeah.
Let's put the Pope in more movies, guys.
That's what I've been saying.
Let's put him in Are You There, Chelsea?
My
Let's have
phone,
him replace the small bar back.
my phone pings, and I'm like, the Pope just signed with WME. Oh my god!
The Pope is in Riverdale. That's a show that could have the Pope in it for a season.
As a character or the actual Pope?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
either one. Oh my god, that show is gone. So I had to tap out in the third
R.I.P.
season.
It's recently ended.
It did end, but
Riverdale in peace?
I tapped out in the third season once they started getting to like
the Dungeons
the
and
role play.
Dragons,
Yes, the Dungeons
Suicide
and
Cult.
Dragon game.
Yeah.
I said I can't. I'm out. But anyway,
What?
Oh, there are 5 serial killers in season 3.
Pope could have been one of them.
Yeah. So, by the way, come check out. Yeah, the Pope.
well, the Pope is pro-life, so I don't.
Oh, you can murder and be pro-life. I think we've seen that. Okay.
Again, this is taking a weird twist. This is not where I should the episode to go.
Anyway, so let's talk about the pilot. So
Yeah.
Chelsea gets a DUI and she starts working. She moves closer to where she needs to work at a bar. She decides not to make any real life changes about drinking.
There is a very confusing joke for me when
Yeah?
she moves, because she literally counts out the number of steps for how far it is from the bar to this new apartment,
Uh-huh.
and her friend goes with her, and Chelsea counts fewer steps than her friend does, and then her friend's like, oh, I counted this amount, and huge laugh. Is the joke just that she's shorter?
The joke is that she's petite and her steps are smaller.
That got too big of a laugh.
She's so little and Asian.
I thought there must have been more to that joke.
Oh, yeah. She's
I
played
just-
by Ali Wong.
I
Her best
just-
friend is played by Ali Wong.
I thought there's no way the joke is simply that she's shorter, because we've observed them standing next to each other, and I've already noticed she's shorter. This is not a surprise. I gained no revelations.
There's a lot of stature-based humor. There is a little person in the cast.
I think he's probably the MVP of the show for me.
Yeah, he's funny.
Oh, yeah. That is the thing, is like everybody is doing like a good job at acting.
Everyone is nailing the sitcom acting.
Yeah. Which is not always, we just did the show, How We Roll with Pete Holmes.
The bowling show.
Yes. Okay. So she's heard of it. Because it was Shadeo was like, have you heard, how did this come out in 2022? And I've never.
That show, it was like barely a blip on the radar.
Yeah.
It came out and I was like, oh, I should watch at least an episode because it's interesting to me to see Pete doing like a network sitcom. That was new for him.
Well, I
Yes,
got news
yeah.
for you. He doesn't. He plays it like a drama. I wish you had done that episode with us. It's so weird.
And then it just ended. It was like it barely came out.
Yeah, exactly.
Completely overshadowed. So weird. But anyway,
I mean, people love bowling. So
great great sitcom acting in this one.
yeah. And you could see the difference of like when it's just people playing it by the note.
It's interesting you bring up How We Roll, though, because How We Roll, we're at a point in sitcoms where you need to have a hook like that. That's not just here's some people in the city trying to make it. Like, why would you ever watch another show like that?
Well,
You've got 100 better versions of that you can watch on streaming right now.
okay, but this is 2012.
Yeah, you
So
can still watch any of these online.
Well, sure, yeah, but we're just getting to the point where that's shifting. So this
But
is like kind of getting caught in that fold, I would say.
but
like,
all of your viewers have seen by this point Seinfeld or Friends or How I Met Your Mother or whatever. They don't need another show that's just kind of
well, but yeah, but I mean, even when did How I Met Your Mother come out?
probably like 6 years before this.
Oh my God! All right, it's ancient comparatively, but like Happy Endings is still a show that came out around this time. That's like a great version.
Which never reached the heights of.
No, that's true.
Which
I'm
is
saying, like, from a perspective.
great and not well, this is
I love Happy Endings. Yeah.
yeah. Well, this is they're doing the live studio audience thing.
Is it live?
It's at least pretending to be.
Yeah, you're right. There's a laugh track,
So, like,
which is also going out of style at this point.
Right.
In 2012, it's starting to, but it's still shifting out. So this, I think, is just something that's like caught.
we're at the point where you need more of a hook for your sitcom, though.
Absolutely. But they were just figuring that, it's literally a bunch of old style thinking that hadn't been updated. And then you just get a show that is so competently middle of the road. It's almost impressive
Yeah.
because it's actually like hard to get that middle of a line in like a show like this.
They were
why-
obviously casting a wide net, but my question is who was watching this? Clearly the ratings weren't amazing.
No.
You're a fan. Were you watching?
No.
And you like
And
Chelsea Handler.
I've
like,
read 2 or 3 of her books, but I liked the late night show because it was edgier, and I like the fact that she had like a panel of comedians because we don't really have panel shows in the U.S.
No, she was actually one of the few people doing a panel show. Absolutely.
Yeah. They would always like it would be a monologue and then like a panel segment and then sometimes sketches and an interview, but that was a launching pad for a lot of people's careers. Like,
oh yeah.
Guy Branum wrote about that in his book, and how it was huge for him. Lonnie Love, Joe Coy, a lot of people. She's been very supportive of other stand-ups, which
Yeah,
I appreciate.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We're not really. It's just the show is a mismatch
show-
of things. It's not like
Yeah.
obviously everybody involved with it is talented and
Right.
works on
My
cool
mind
things.
is not boggled in the same way I have been by pretty much every other sitcom we've covered.
Yeah.
The confusing thing for me is how they managed to be the most average show I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's almost impressive.
Oh, well, here's a good answer for you. The series was created by the person who created Dharma and Greg.
Wow. Yeah. No, this does have very Dharma and Greg energy.
And then,
Actually,
yeah.
this just has Greg energy. There's no Dharma in this.
Well, the other person who's the co-creator, then went on to write for Last Man Standing. So,
Wow.
So he got right wing as well.
she,
Oh, okay.
it's two ladies.
Two women. You created it. Yeah.
Julie and Dottie. But that makes a lot of sense. This does have that kind of it's punchy, but it's safe.
I gotta be honest with you. I cannot believe that Tim Allen agreed to be on a show created by a woman. That shocks me.
No, he didn't. Tim Allen didn't.
Is it Last Man Standing?
She didn't create it. She just was writing on it.
I stand by my point. I don't think I'm shocked Tim Allen agreed to be on a show written by a woman.
That a woman was involved.
Yeah,
That a woman
shocks
was
me.
writing on. Yeah, well, actually, I was reading there's a podcast with one of the writers, like the co-creator of Last Man Standing.
Yeah.
And he was talking about how, it is that we're thinking as, he was a very liberal guy, so it would be the push and pull that would fuel a lot of that. So he probably is, trying to hire people in.
Yeah, there was just pull. I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, I believe that.
That is,
Was that CBS?
I think it might have started out on Fox and then ended up on the country music television.
Okay. On CMT. That does kind of make sense. Yeah.
FOX to CMT.
It's set in a quote unquote not a Bass Pro Shops. And I wouldn't be surprised, but they sell the DVDs at Bass Pro Shop.
It's a branding opportunity. I love it.
If you want to have the experience of watching Last Man Standing without actually watching Last Man Standing, drive into Memphis and see the giant Bass Pro Shops pyramid as you enter the city, and then leave immediately. It's the exact same feeling.
What a beautiful landmark.
Yeah. It's right across the highway from the Civil Rights Museum, and it's about 3 times the size. Just a bit of a mark on Memphis right
What
there.
a beautiful metaphor.
Yeah.
For how popular Bass Pro Shops are.
Well, it wasn't built as a Bass Pro Shop. They built it, I believe, as a stadium. It was, yeah. When the Memphis Grizzlies, the NBA team, moved there, that's where they played for a year or two. And they were like, yeah, we can't play in a giant glass pyramid. You need to build us a new stadium. So they went and played in the college stadium for a little bit. Now they're and so then they just had this giant glass pyramid in a swamp sitting empty for a decade until Bass Pro Shops rolled up, spit out some chewing tobacco and went, we'll take it. I don't care.
I am picturing the glass pyramid outside of the Louvre, but
It's bigger.
but bigger.
It's so much bigger. It's huge.
It's huge.
Wow.
It's got a giant Bass Pro Shop logo etched onto the side.
Well, I gotta go to Memphis.
There's a hotel in the Bass Pro Shop. And I looked it up. It's expensive. It's really expensive to stay in the Bass Pro Shop.
Well,
But
yeah, it's beautiful. They have a giant glass
it actually
ceiling.
did look really nice. A really nice hotel.
And the Grizzlies used to play there. That's
Yeah.
important.
Ooh, the ghosts of free throws missed from the past may haunt you at night.
Okay, so they go to visit the apartment that she's going to move into because she just has decided she'll move in there, and it's Lauren Lapkus lives there.
Mhm.
Our first Christian.
Yeah, she is super hardcore Christian and
But the character is obviously supposed to be her new
Autistic?
quirky roommate.
Oh, okay.
But I couldn't. I didn't get a coherent picture of what exactly her deal was. She was just always so weird. She was just weird at every turn.
They just cast Lauren Lapkus and hoped that was enough.
Yeah.
basically they were like, well, she's supposed to be the opposite of Chelsea.
Okay.
She's just completely the innocent. Every step of it, she's kind and caring, and too much so.
She made a tuxedo for a squirrel.
Yeah, she's cute and not cynical, and so she's supposed to be the polar opposite. They're doing the Odd Couple,
Okay.
but it's, but they don't add that much to it, and it's just they're hoping Lauren Lapkus is. It's kind of like it would be what would happen if this was like Ellie Kemper in The Office.
Yeah.
Is what they're kind of trying to go for, but they're not giving it the same level of like writing to it.
Right.
But that's also comparing it to The Office, which, you know, has...
It's no Dharma and Greg.
Lauren Lapkus, what played Pete Holmes' ex-wife in Crashing.
There you go.
There we go. Another Pete Holmes connection.
Should have been in How We Roll.
This is going to be released as a 2-part episode with How We Roll, isn't it?
Sure.
All right, whatever. Actually, you know what? Put How We Roll in the vault.
No, they'll never get it.
Don't release that episode.
Yeah, you have to go to Patreon to get
We're
How
going to
We
have
Roll.
to create a Patreon if you want to hear that episode.
Behind the paywall.
We're going to have to create the Patreon for How We Roll. It'll be the How We Roll Pete Holmes Memorial.
The Pete Holmes Memorial Patreon.
Yeah, you have to pay your respects.
You know he's pissed about how that show went, too.
Yeah.
I don't know. He may not. He may have just done it because his agent was like, "You got to do it." He might have been happy to do other projects.
Maybe it's just because I see him as so ego-driven that I'm like, he was excited to be a sitcom star. I don't know.
Yeah, no, you definitely would let it go to your head. Why would you not?
Because no one becomes a sitcom star nowadays.
Yeah, they do.
Who?
Abbott Elementary.
One example.
Okay.
Gerard Carmichael show.
Yeah, he kind of blew
So
up
you
from
have
that.
to be black.
That's what we've well, we figured it out. That's the secret. But like it's also like everybody in Modern Family.
That was 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
So like, Are You There, Chelsea would have been like the last gasp of people able to become sitcom stars. And it didn't work.
Well, yeah, I get no.
And then
but
your
on
example of
CBS,
it all-
on CBS. I guess Mike and Molly and Billy Gardell and everybody are all
That was like around this same time. This was the last gasp of it.
okay.
Other
Yeah.
than that, like you've thought of one example in the last 10 years that people got success off of?
Yeah, I guess it's all been big dramas or like
Yeah.
yeah.
Or unscripted, yeah.
Yeah. Poor Welcome to Flatch.
Rip Welcome to Flatch, an adaptation of that's another BBC show we ruined. An adaptation of This Country.
And then everything else in the episode, she's just trying to get to her sister.
Her sister doesn't think she's responsible enough. He's like, you know what? You're not going to be there when I have my baby. But then she goes anyway and videotapes the whole thing. And then they accidentally play it at the bar TV.
Oh, right, because they're going to show naked women, and then they accidentally show a naked woman.
No, they only show her face.
Well, that we see. Obviously, they're not going to show.
We see it. They see the whole time. We see it come on the TV and him turn it off.
Okay.
We forgot the plot line where she dates a redhead guy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the ginger. That's lifted directly from the book. It's
Okay.
a whole essay about how horrifying it was to see a ginger man's pubes.
Wow.
Pube plot line 1.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, he's a perfectly nice guy. And so when she dismisses him because of simply his pubes, now we think our lead of this show that they want us to watch for 10 seasons, just generally not a good person.
Yeah.
Not super endearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, wait, hold on. So this is a whole essay?
Yeah.
That she wrote about this guy's pubes?
Yeah. About how she was, slutting it up and drinking a lot in her early 20s. And a lot of it's about, her romantic and sexual misadventures.
Yeah.
Fine. And she talks about just like meeting this guy that she was attracted to in spite of his red hair. And then when she actually got him naked, she was like terrified.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is... What a story to like... But like... Can you imagine like being that dude and then being like, oh, there's a story about me in this.
I know.
And then on top of that, then later there's the sitcom where that's just in the first episode of it.
Yeah. Which is not a super strong one to start with.
She also doesn't seem terrified in this show. She just kind of happens. She's like, nah,
I can't.
Yeah.
So for comedic purposes, they should really lean in.
Yeah.
He should have disgusting pubes and then also red hair, which is like a multiplier on it. Like they should be already like dreaded out.
Or from a visual perspective,
Mm-hmm.
just give him weird chest hair. Like, we can't see his weird pubes. So the joke is less effective for us. If you're trying to
have them in pigtails, we see them below the balls. Like it's
Jesus
we see
Christ.
legs. And
That
then
is
we
worse.
see-
You cannot put that on NBC.
you can. That's the problem. It's sometimes it's worse when you have censorship because you have to get creative and bad.
The pubes are like macrameed into little baskets.
Yeah, perfect.
They're just hanging.
just to catch. It's like
It would have been more interesting to me if the guy had checked all of her boxes and been perfect on paper, and then she had to wrestle with whether or not she could fuck a redhead.
Well, they kind of do set that up, but they never really get into it much. Like, he's a Harvard graduate lawyer or whatever. But then she never really talks about that.
Yeah.
it's just fully focused on whether or not she wants to have sex with the guy with red hair.
I also already like forgot that aspect of it. It just it not a lot in the show like makes a deep impression.
Olive Garden, Applebee's,
Yeah.
Columbus, Ohio. Sorry, Columbus. I've had nice days there.
I've had nice days.
Apologies to Columbus.
Yeah. Guy Fieri was born there. And he's holding the Flavortown Festival next summer. And you know what? I'm going. I'll say it right now. I'm going to the Flavortown Fest.
First live podcast.
Live podcast from the Flavortown Fest. Columbus, I hope you welcome me with open arms.
Ooh.
Guy Fieri has to have a show that's poorly rated on.
No, because I keep making alt accounts to keep rating them up. So there's highest rated shows of all time.
Ooh, have you seen Rachel and Guy's Celebrity Cook-Off?
No, I haven't.
Well, that could qualify.
All right. Well,
It's-
we don't besmirch Guy on this show.
Coolio's
can.
in it.
Yeah, we can.
Anyway,
Coolio.
yeah, Max.
Is the same one or is this a different Coolio?
It is the one and the same.
Okay.
It's the one you're thinking of.
All right, cool. Yo. Did he die recently?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
He died this year.
R.I.P.
it's-
Coolio. He's not going to go to the Flavortown Fest.
It'll be tough to
Well,
get
he'll
there.
be
Dude,
there
all
in
of Guy's
spirit.
musician friends are dying this year. The guy
Yeah.
from Smash Mouth as well.
Oh my God.
He's at his darkest point. He's like, I got to set up the fest.
Hey guys, if you're enjoying the episode, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast right here very easily on Spotify, iTunes, anywhere where you like it. It'll take you 5 seconds and will make me happy. Daniel will send me a little text, be like, hey, we got a new review. And, it's like it's an emergency. We all got to check it. Anyway, so go do that. If you like Pamela, go follow her on Instagram at Pam Not Anderson. And check out her Substack, namedropping.substack.com. Also, you can find me at DPIC Comedy and on Instagram or on TikTok at LitGrandma69. Also, check out my comedy special, Goblin King, and my show, January 10th, Christian Science Theater 3000, where we make fun of a bad Christian movie, riffing over it at 3 Diamond Door at 8 p.m. It is free to go. Just, donations are appreciated. And the movie this month that we're covering, Assassin 33 AD, is one of the most insane things I've ever seen. Go check it out. Go follow Daniel at Daniel F. Crow on Instagram, and that is it. Enjoy the episode. So let's talk about the bottle episode.
It's the highest rated episode.
Yeah. Okay. So Chelsea plans to throw a surprise birthday party to Sloane, and then it takes an interesting turn when Sloane's husband phones Chelsea to tell her that he's on his way back home.
The word interesting doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Rick has some mixed feelings about a dream he had about Chelsea.
Yeah, they say that's pretty much a plot line. It is a couple lines at the start of the episode about a weird dream he had.
Oh, yeah, because, they're trying to push Jake McDorman and Laura Prepon's characters together.
Well, they've got the electric chemistry, so why wouldn't you?
Yeah, throughout the whole first season, you can tell there's going to be like a will they won't they dynamic.
Sam and Diane.
Yeah.
We've got these two people. They're young, they're hot, they hate each other, but they work together.
And they did sort of hook up once. That's established in the pilot
Oh, yeah.
that they both wanted to be on top.
I forgot that was the whole reasoning why they can't. What a flimsy.
Is that from the book?
No. That's a made up thing.
No, really? Because I thought, no way anyone can make up anything that creative. It's just too funny.
That is just a silly, goofy thing that they invented.
Yeah, it's really one of the flimsiest excuses I've seen for people to not hook up at work.
I was really hoping there'd be a more dramatic reason behind it.
Like,
She takes his shirt off, neo-Nazi tattoo.
oh, you want to be all the way on top. Oh, no. That's not okay. We're still against neo-Nazis.
Yeah, we recorded an episode earlier where we took a big stand against neo-Nazis, so all of our episodes have to be against Nazis now. We're fine with it. We don't like them.
A brave stance.
Yeah.
And thank God.
But as a dude who has been in a situation where the girl is like, I want to be on top, you just let him be on top. There's not like, it's never been a thing where it's like, my preferred position would be on top or something, but like, yeah, sure. You want to jump up? Go ahead.
I
Yeah.
have to tell you, David, you've been cucking yourself.
Oh no.
Oh no, all that sex you've been having with women, lame.
Yeah, it's been lame and gay.
Anyway, back to Are You There, Chelsea? Speaking of lame,
So that is the thing with Jake's character, like, is they have that weird not chemistry. It's almost there, but it's just they're two hot people.
they seem cordial.
Yeah. But
That's about it.
Maybe that's the thing is if you're hot enough, you're like, women just always let me be on top, and he's finally met someone hot enough to deny him that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't, there wasn't the kind of explosive crackling chemistry you'd like to see between two romantic leads.
I like that you describe chemistry like diarrhea.
I mean, I'm just pulling from what I know.
Yeah.
That's my frame of reference.
I do feel like Ali Wong is having the most fun, though. Or maybe Lenny Clark.
I find Ali Wong to be such an absolute delight in the show and every time she's on screen.
Yeah, she's actually like having fun and like bouncing through it.
Exactly.
So they throw this surprise party for her.
For Sloane's birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sloan. I forgot. I was like, Chelsea.
Because it's one of her actual sister's names. So
Oh, there you go.
that's why.
Okay.
And she's a Mormon.
Well, they lean into it.
That to me, I was like, okay, so that's maybe why her husband is serving in Iraq. Like, I was trying to figure out. I was like, so she's more
But she
conservative?
still lives in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because, she didn't move out to Long Island with the rest of the soldiers.
Yeah.
But she has brown hair, so it's like she's Chelsea's opposite.
Yeah.
Which actually is weird that if she's playing a Mormon character, that they've made her brunette. Because I've been to Salt Lake City.
They're all blonde.
They're all blonde.
Yes. From what I've seen on The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, they're
They have
very
that?
blonde. Oh, yes.
Oh.
4 seasons in.
So 1 year.
We get it, Daniel. You're straight. Oh, my God.
I am not. Literally asexual, but thank you.
Well, your lack of familiarity with Bravo's programming is giving heterosexual.
Well, he's not giving homosexual. That is what he's not
That's-
giving off queer vibes.
Well,
Because he's giving off zero vibes.
Negative vibes.
negative vibes.
Yeah, that is honestly.
I'm
that's
the
a
only
good-
person that can fairly rate Bravo's programming.
Exactly.
Everyone else is coming in with biases for or against. Feed me Bravo, I shall judge.
Get Andy Cohen on the phone.
Andy, come on the pod.
Andy, come on the pod.
Literally have sex on the podcast.
You guys can watch.
Andy, come be intimate with me on the pod. Change my ways, Andy.
Get him really into Bravo.
Get me into Bravo, Andy.
So it's supposed to be a surprise party,
Yes.
and then it's ruined. The surprise was ruined.
Yes. Because originally he hires a stripper. She hires a stripper.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we never see who hires the stripper. She gets talked out of hiring the stripper. And she's like, yeah, I won't do that. Someone hires the stripper. We don't know who. The stripper just shows up.
Right.
I thought she had hired the stripper.
No, eventually she's talked out of it. They're planning on it. But then her dad's like, I told you were going to throw a surprise party. And she's like, well, I'm not going to do any of that now. We'll just do nothing.
So we don't know who hired the stripper?
No, this is a stripper that works on, I guess, cold calls. He just shows up places and starts stripping and hopes for the best.
Perfect. I guess I feel like there had to have been a line that we just missed.
Or they got cut.
Right. Yeah, it seems like he just shows up. Like, first it's the guy with the baby comes
That
back.
feels impossible. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to believe that the show had this little logic.
Well, I think there could be like the implication that maybe Ali Wong's character hadn't heard that plan was not happening anymore. So she went through with it, but it's never really told.
And the line was just cut in editing or something. Okay. I'm going to rewatch this whole episode now.
I think they wanted to be a surprise when the stripper shows up, but I mean, once we go through that whole thing of people knocking on the door and entering, and then they think it's going to be the husband on that time, I'm like, okay, I know where this joke is going.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, I laughed for a solid 30, 40 minutes straight. It was so funny. When that stripper showed up and started stripping, I was like, haha, the peak of comedy.
It's always funny when a man is sexy.
Yeah, it's really...
As we learned from Magic Mike.
People think it's hilarious.
People think it's hilarious that a woman would find a man attractive.
I mean, we don't really do a lot to...
But a man would offer himself up as a sexual object.
I mean, could you even imagine? Like, we're because we're so much more than that.
Yeah, it's why people find my comedy so funny. Because they only see me as an object, and because of my
Daniel
raw,
sex object
vivacious
crow
sexuality.
That must be hard for you as an asexual.
Yeah.
He does every once in a while. People will try and get him to like have sex with them.
I try not to do my asexual jokes because if I do my asexual jokes, there's like a 15% chance some guy's going to come up to me and be like, but would you sleep with my wife? And I'd be like, I've got a podcast to record, sir.
Yeah. It's not, you're like, that wasn't like a challenge. I'm not like.
People take it as one.
Right.
We're doing the asexual challenge. Can you turn this guy?
Can you break this ace?
I just want to say to anyone listening,
ace in the hole.
No one will have fun. It will be like watching Are You There, Chelsea? Everyone will just kind of go, well, huh.
I'm still pretty happy with ace in the hole.
Well, stop the record. Let's film this pilot.
Ace in the hole. This is the actual pilot pitch. It's you're a gambling addict.
Okay.
You're an asexual gambling addict. And you have to turn to prostitution to pay for your gambling debts. And it doesn't bother you at all, so you could have sex with anyone. And then it turns out you're just really good at being a prostitute because you don't care about sex.
God, how sad would it be if I was the best sexer in the world?
Ace in the hole.
There was like this Onion article, and it was like world's best cello player dies age 96 having never played cello. That could be me.
You could be the world's greatest sex worker.
I could. You never know.
No, the world will never know.
The world will never know, yeah.
At least we get you to do, hallucinogens.
I have Tums. Do those count?
Yep, that is perfect.
Perfect.
There you go.
All right.
They make me horny. Speaking of making me horny, let's talk about the rest of Are You There, Chelsea?
And the husband arrives. Yay, fun. Oh, there was a whole plot line where her sister was like, I don't want to do anything all day. So they just got her drunk and had her eat a lot of salami. And then the husband was like, I'm coming back, but don't tell my wife.
Yeah, did this all happen like basically on
4 hours?
set?
They give us a time frame. 4 hours
Right.
it took.
But I'm saying like this episode happens mostly on one set.
There
right?
are 4 sets.
It
It opens in the bar, and the love interest says, I had a dream about Chelsea where she was a turtle and I wanted to sleep with her. And then the dwarf barback goes, oh, Freud, blah, 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 blah. And then they move to Chelsea's apartment.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, I need to get something happening for my sister's birthday. And then the dad's like, she doesn't want to do anything. She wants to just relax. And then they're like, okay. And then they go to the sister's apartment and they try to help her relax. And then she passes out drunk. The husband says, I'm coming back. Don't tell her. And so then they need to get her ready for the husband. So they just kind of cart her around town while she's passed out drunk. And they get her waxed for our second pube plot line.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, second pube plot
She
line.
wakes up after being waxed. And then they get her changed. And that's our 4th location is at the waxing place.
Oh yeah.
And then they take her back, and then there's a whole bunch of people knocking at the door, and then the husband comes back. The end. And no, there's a 5th location. There's the car with her coworker where they give a big smooch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They have a big smooch, and then it ends.
And that's the end. And I was happy to see Carrie Kenny Silver as the waxer.
Oh yeah, from Reno 911.
Yeah, and the state. I love her.
Doing a pretty thick Russian accent.
Yes, and I will say that I do not trust an esthetician unless they have a vaguely sort of Eastern European or Russian accent. and are kind of brusque. They do the best work.
Because they're not gonna fuck around.
They've seen everything.
They can just handle it.
They're completely unfazed, and they don't care. They don't care if it hurts. Okay, they're gonna get the job done.
Not like the writers of Are You There, Chelsea? They don't care if it hurts the audience.
How
They
hard?
have 12 episodes.
How hard did you laugh when Chelsea Handler called her own vagina a Pikachu?
0. I felt pain for the entire creative team because I know that's not how they wrote it. And they had to come up with another word to use. And they settled for Pikachu, which doesn't even make sense within the mythos of Pokemon. Pikachu's not a particularly sexual Pokemon.
Yeah, but it's the one everybody knows, and it begins with P also, and it's a cute, fuzzy, adorable spot.
I'm just saying the generally accepted sexy Pokemon are Lopunny and Gardevoir, and they should have gone with one of those two.
I think Jinx is kind of seductive.
But Jinx has the weird thing where it was in blackface for a while, so you don't want to bring up Jinx.
That's true. This is what gets me canceled.
Yeah.
Just being pro Jinx.
On a pod. Being sexually fascinated by the blackface Pokemon.
It's purple now, so it's okay, I guess. But
right. Now it's like fucking Grimace.
yeah.
Which is also fine. You're allowed to fuck Grimace.
You're allowed to... No,
it's encouraged.
Everyone, no matter what your sexuality is.
Even I would.
Yeah.
Even you'd put out for Grimace.
I owe a debt to that hero for our country. We all do.
Okay. How would you improve the show, Daniel?
It would be called Are You There, Grimace?
Okay.
And Grimace would be the lead character. And he would just wander around a bar, or I guess he would work at a McDonald's. And
You would go to the bar after his McDonald's.
yes.
I love this. I'm on board.
And it's all about
Pamela's sat up. She's ready.
I'm
it's all
listening.
about the development of the Grimace meal. He's working towards that goal throughout the whole show.
He's like a food inventor.
yeah. Okay. So
He's a hard alcoholic food
I want you to
inventor.
imagine essentially this show or like Sex in the City, but all of the characters are replaced with the McDonald's mascots. So like the Hamburglers in it. That one
Career criminal, the
chicken woman,
hamburger.
He's
hamburger.
reformed.
Okay.
He's the character that she meets in prison in the cold open of this show.
Wow, he's real Scott Lang.
I think
Yeah.
every character should be an animated mouse. That's how I would improve it.
It's a bar. Listen, that sounds great. An animated mouse that lives above a bar in New York City.
Are they
That's also a bar.
Wait a minute, a Ratatouille, but like that's also Hitch? A Ratatouille that hooks people up on dates?
Exactly.
Oh, all right. Okay. Yeah. I like the idea of just a rat sitcom in a bar inside a bar.
Normally we have actual solutions for the show.
It's Always Sunny, but mice.
This is the first time no one has bothered to present a real piece of advice for the show.
Put it on HBO. Put it on somewhere where you can where you can actually have a character grow and develop and be a piece of shit and have it not be like a problem. Because like the thing is, you can't get the wish fulfillment of a show. Like part of the Sopranos appeal is that like it's like, oh, I can kind of pretend to be Tony Soprano or these bad guys that I don't want to actually have the life of or wouldn't want to commit to, tearing my soul apart to create. So it's like, oh, you can't really do that if you're doing it on NBC where they're like, oh, it's kind of bad what I'm doing, but I can't do anything bad enough to make the innocent character appear innocent enough to really have that balance.
I might say that if you are dead set on doing it as an NBC sitcom, though, maybe give it a framing device like How I Met Your Mother, where they're talking about like these were the escapades I went through.
Ooh.
To maybe ground it a little bit more.
And it's told like in retrospect, yeah.
Yeah, because if they're based on stories from her book.
Actually, I love the idea of she's piecing together her blackouts like a mystery.
Or she could be at AA or something the whole time.
Well, and it's all she's telling, like crazy stories from AA. I think grounds it great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then you have that feeling of like, oh, the character has already changed, but we're gonna get to watch her get to that point, and then you have it be Chelsea in the beginning doing her stand-up monologues based on kind of what she was doing in AA. I'm guessing that was getting her laughs.
That would add some semblance of life to something that just feels a by committee otherwise.
Okay, so now let's recommend shows.
Come back to me.
Yeah, I got one. I want to recommend I'm Sorry, because that's a version of someone taking their life and putting it on TV with Andrea Savage.
Oh, yeah.
And it's great. It's so much fun. It's so funny, and it's appropriately, because it's on True TV. They could be dirty and like they bleep the word fuck, but then if you get it now, it just has the word fuck in it.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like a very fun, and it feels very lived in that way that like this one doesn't.
This isn't related. It's a very different show.
Great.
But I'll recommend Rap Shit on HBO.
Ooh, yeah. I haven't seen the new
which-
season.
Yeah, they're now in the second season, and I fucking love it. I found out that the woman who plays Chastity, like the butch like pimp who's trying to manage the group,
Yeah.
I found out that she got her start on reality TV. She was on Bad Girls Club.
Oh, shit.
I know. And now she's like a legit actor. She's so good in the show.
Bad Girls Club is like one of the most trashy reality TV shows where like they just throw a bunch of like bullies, like girl bullies in a room and just let them kind of go at it.
And
Thank you for explaining to me.
But if you can get thrown out
As
of the
the
house
straightest man
if
in the
you
room.
fight. You can get thrown out of the house if you like physically fight someone. So sometimes by the end of the season, there's like 3 cast members still in the house.
I like it's an elimination-based show without actual elimination rounds.
Exactly. It's just like a slice of life.
Are both people
It's just-
fought out if they fight, or only the instigator?
I think the instigator.
See, that's fun. If you can like manipulate people's minds to start a fight with you, eventually
Yeah.
you'll just have a house to yourself.
Yeah.
The show is psychological warfare.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go the exact opposite direction on my recommendation. This is in honor of how Middle America the show felt to me at times. Go watch Antiques Roadshow. I like Antiques Roadshow. I like watching them be like, it's worth how much? So go watch. And also, because we talked about me being asexual, it's the least sexual show I can think of.
There you go.
Antiques Roadshow.
The least titillating show on television.
Well, I'm sure some people, that's their thing.
Well, if
And-
you're an objectum sexual,
yeah.
you're getting turned on by some of those antiques.
Some people are. And God bless them.